saw the Fat Tour in like '92. It was you guys, Tilt, No Use, and Strung Out. And I remember seeing your band, and it was fucking rad. And that's why it's really cool for me to be on the Fat Tour now with your band. Who'd have thought? Pretty fucking cool, man.
It was cool, like when I was growing up, I'd always get the fat compilations. Fat music for fat people, physical fatness, all that. And then I guess Fat stopped doing the physical ones for so long, just did digital stuff, which completely made sense. And then I guess when they just were stoked enough to do a physical one, which was probably a pretty big risk for a label to take these days, you know, like putting out a compilation, like, especially on like a piece of wax like that, a double LP I think it is. I feel like it was a big risk to take, but it ended up being really cool, and it was so cool to have a song on that. I was blown away. Like when we got the news that they're doing a physical comp and that my band would be on one of those, was super, super cool. Paul's mom checked the voicemail and told Paul that there's a message from Big Mark on the phone for him. And we called him back, and it was just like super mellow and super cool, but it's this guy that we'd always like looked up to. It was awesome, yeah. Big Mark.
You're like, that could be Fat.
That could be him.
Might be Fat.
It could be him.
Or one of our friends.
Or it's just a dude from like Blockbuster telling me that your video's overdue or some shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time we recorded an album, we bugged Mike to put it out, and every time he told us it was shit.
Big Mark.
Yeah, Big Mark. Yeah. He said it sounds like these guys, this one sounds like No Use, or that sounds like that.
He is very brutally honest.
Yeah, and that's awesome. You guys should, you need an edge, you need a this, you need that. And then with this album, it just, I don't know, kind of happened.
There's some bands that are like in my, top 10 bands of all time, like Propaganda, D4,
yep.
Stuff like that. Propaganda's pretty hard to fucking beat for me.
Yeah, you can't really fuck with that.
That like, not just musically, but like just their whole deal kind of like had a big influence on me as a big little, as like a little dude.
That
had a
one
lot to do with.
Yeah, I feel like the two.
Who I am.
If I were to choose like two of the most underrated Fat bands, would be D4 and No More Black probably.
Yeah.
I love No More Black.
Yeah, No More Black's great.
And Dan Dillinger 4.
Honestly,
D4 so
when we were setting up this tour, I had like a wish list, for bands that would be on it, and it was too long. I wanted like 6 bands instead, and D4 was like top of the list.
Of course, man.
But everybody was like, "Oh, I don't even call Patty. There's no way they're gonna go. Like they don't tour, blah blah blah." They do that. And if they do tour, they're not gonna tour with your band.
There's like this weird phenomenon that's happened too with the fest. You know what I mean? Like because of the fest, there's like all these bands out there that are starting that are like kind of playing pretty rad music. There's like the kids it's kind of like giving this thing again in punk rock where it's like giving kids an excuse to start a band, which like I see what you're saying where like in some ways you could be like, well fuck, not everybody's starting a band and most of them aren't that good. But in the other way, it's also like there's all these small bands that play the fest and have such like really cool followings that like kids go and they're like, I can do that.
Totally.
And so then they start a band, and then it's like it's pretty cool because then there's kids out there starting bands and playing.
I can do that badly.
I mean, especially with something like the fest too, where you can like discover 100 bands in that one weekend.
Yeah.
You can see any of those bands play in front of a packed house.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because everyone's like given this cool equal opportunity to like just actually play their songs for people, rather than just be a band on the internet that.
Or just even like how you used to have to work for it. Like you're saying these fat comps and stuff like that. It's like, remember I'm like 14 and I get a fat comp and I hear a Lagwagon song and I'm like, this song's rad. I'm gonna order their record called Trash, and I mail order it, and then like a fucking week and a half later it comes in the mail, and then I get it, and then I see what you guys look like, and then I hear all your songs. Yeah. Whereas like now it's like if I hear the word Lagwagon, I'm on the internet, I know what you guys look like, I know where you're from, I've heard every single one of your songs in fucking 10 minutes.
And you did it all on your phone.
As opposed to like before where you had to like fucking work for it, you know what I mean? It's something kind of cooler about
that.
Totally
fucking sucks.
See, that.
No romance in that.
There's no romance in that, right?
Like, the only thing we have to look forward to nowadays is the bands that we listened to when we were young getting back together because of horror and the world sucks.
Now it's cool that I can I'm in a band with a bunch of dudes that love a lot of different kinds of music, especially that new Propaganda record. if you had headphones in last night on the drive back, we were talking about that for a while. I think someone in our band has put on that record at least once a day for the last however many days we've been on tour together, 12 days or something, and it's rad. But then like right after that, we'll listen to like the Zombies, you know? So there's a really weird like mix of music going on in the van. And there's rarely silence in our van. There's almost always music playing.
Well, make sure you let me know when you guys are listening to the Zombies record.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.